All right, guys. So it's been a few weeks because we had two hurricanes pass by little Clearwater, Florida. The hurricane got me thinking about something. It was Helene and Milton. This was the most damage I've seen in this area by far. I mean, so many people had floods, okay? Literally sewage water, feces coming up through their floorboards into their homes, into their belongings, okay? And massive trees that have been around for 100 years or more fall over, things breaking. I mean, it was destruction. Now, we know, living in Florida, that these things are going to occur. This is an emergency, but you can prepare for emergencies because we understand the character of this emergency. I mean, you know this will happen. Like earthquakes happen, tornadoes happen, hurricanes happen. These things happen. Just like in a business, emergencies happen. Lawsuits, if you're of any size, are going to happen. Okay, but are you prepared for it? Do you have your best practices in place? Do you have whatever insurances you need? Do you know that you're doing all the best things yourself? You're going to have people that betray you. Do you have at least some agreements in place? Right? Do you have contracts? Do you have things that are solid for when this happens? Because it will happen. If you're doing anything substantial, you will have people betray you. You will have people literally steal from you. You're going to have lawsuits. You're going to have embezzlement. Things are going to happen. So knowing that something is coming, just like in a hurricane. In a hurricane, you can kind of name what are the things that will happen. Your roof can blow off due to, if windows break, wind goes in your house and it blows off the top. That's like a thing that occurs. It's one of the high likelihood outcomes of destroying a house. Other one is flooding. So flooding can come from ocean water, it can come from creeks. And it can be way more than expected, right? We were expecting 10 to 15 to maybe 20 feet of the storm surge. Okay, basically it's a flooding in places where you don't expect flooding. This was like, no joke, 20 feet of expected feet. Like that's a lot of water above the sea level that was going to go. And luckily we were on 36 feet and it didn't reach us, right? But sometimes it's more than you expect. If you're planning for 10 and then 20 happens, then you're kind of screwed. So you want to name them out. Flooding, which is a storm surge or from the outside, right? From a normal place that floods that you expected. Things breaking down your window, trees falling on top of you, pool flooding. And those are like the major ones. Exploding cars. Okay, electric cars explode in the water. Things like that, getting trapped. Those are basically it. Like there might be other ones, okay? But those are like the major ones. And then I was doing this because I was going through the hurricane. I'm like, this hurricane is happening. What are my threats? And you name them. And now, you will never name all of them. Never. Because there's always things that can happen that you may not expect. But you can attempt and do your best and use your creativity to imagine things that potentially could happen and then prepare for them. What can you do? And what things can you control? So in our house, we boarded up the house. Okay, we prepared for potential some flooding. We lowered the pool levels. We had a generator because we pretty much knew the power was going to go out, which it did. And we had the generator that backed it up. We said, hey, our cars might explode. Move whatever people outside of anywhere near the car, or move the car somewhere else, right, where you're not living. The tree, okay, we didn't stay on the second floor where the trees would hit and maybe could like kill somebody. If the tree fell on the house, it would stay on the second floor. We'd be on the first floor. We'd be fine in theory. Same thing with any venture that you do, okay. There will be emergencies that happen, but what will you do to prepare for those emergencies, okay? On Amazon, threats are coming your way, okay? On Amazon, just like a hurricane, there are emergencies, there are dangers, and they will come your way. First of all, if your product is not patented, even if it is patented, you're going to have people come and copy you hardcore. If you have any sort of success, you're going to have a lot of people come copy your design, copy your style, copy your listing, just a lot of copying. So the copying that you can protect yourself against, the best is your trademark. Getting your trademark, having a solid trademark, trademarking as many things that represent your brand as possible. That's very solid because you protect your name. The United States government and most governments of Earth have protection against people using your name for the services that you offer. So that's like rock solid. Awesome. Next one, your copyrights. These are your images, your videos. So for that, it's a little bit harder, okay, to fight against. But what we found is a great place to protect against that is One, you have the brand registry tool. Okay, on Amazon, you can search your image and you can find other people using it, and then you can take them down. That's pretty cool. Another thing is if they're using it other places than Amazon, you can use a law firm. Okay, we've used Edison. Okay, if you write to them and you say that I referred you, I get some brownie points. I have no other thing with them right now. But Edison, Edison, Edison Law Firm or whatever. These guys, what they do, they find people who are using your images and stuff all around the world unlawfully. And then they help you, they guide you or tell you what to do to register your copyrights. So copyrights, generally, you have rights even if you haven't filed it, but if you file it, you get more protection. You file it and then you go after them, and then you actually get paid. You don't have to pay them. They will get money from the defendants, and then they split it with you. Pretty easy, right? Defend your copyrights, defend your trademarks. Patents. First step of protecting your own inventions is filing the patents, okay? If you invented anything, you need to file patents. I need to file multiple patents, as many as you can, all different types, design. If you created something that's very, very unique and actually has utility to it, you can do a utility patent, and you want to go in that field and know about it because I think there's a very famous case, Bunch O Balloons. Bunch O Balloons, they sued for something like $200 million, and I believe they won because these guys were going after them hard, and they were trying to defend. And when there's big companies, sometimes they have a big bankroll and they'll just like fight you. But in this case, they had enough money and enough persistence to continue and not settle or not whatever and keep going and go after him. They won the lawsuit. I heard that. So the point is, if you never filed a patent, then of course, someone copying you, what are you going to say? An emergency, it's like saying, oh, my house flooded. I wasn't prepared. No. You know, if you don't have a patent, you're going to get copied. So don't, it's okay to act dumb. We can all act dumb and say, hey, we messed up. But to say, well, this person did that, and you know already ahead of the time that's going to happen, there are predictable things that occur, and people copying your stuff is predictable. Another one is, someone is going to be better than you probably in whatever field they're in, okay? BlackBerry, they had an amazing phone. Their phone was the top. It was the craze of the world, blah, blah. Apple came and smoked those guys hard. They're gone, okay? Like BlackBerry is like an ancient, antique, cool, cute tool now. So it wasn't that they got copied, right? Which is a threat. Copying is a threat. But someone actually just being better than you is probably a bigger threat. So good, focus on the copying, fight that, okay? But then more importantly, get better and better at creating your product and learn your industry better and get into more better industries. If your current one is not big enough, or if you have a huge market share and you kind of can't go anymore, then go in other fields. But develop something that is worth developing and continue to go, because no matter if you're at the top and you're the best in the world, someone's going to come and beat you, okay? It's going to happen. So, or what are you going to do to prevent against that? If you continue to improve, maybe you stay at the top, right? Apple right now, they've been at the top. They keep making new stuff, blah, blah, and then they buy out competitors. So when you're at the top, you do things. Hey, a competitor is coming that's going to threatening our thing. Maybe you buy them. PepsiCo just bought Siete Foods for $1.2 billion. Siete Foods is a little chips and tortillas companies and this, whatever. They're a family of 7 from Texas or Mexico. They're like Mexican, Texican, whatever. They're either Texas, but they're on there. Anyway, and they had some issue with some autoimmune disorder. And so then one of the people, they had to go on paleo, and then they made their own paleo stuff because they wanted to eat Mexican, but they don't want to have all the flour and the wheat and the stuff. So then they made it, and then now they're a massive company. They sold for $1.2 billion. So Pepsi, they're seeing that, and they go, okay, maybe that'll go and affect all these different chip brands that they own or whatever. And they go, no, we're just going to buy them. So if you have a threat, then you just buy them out. That's another way to do it. But if you sit there and you don't do anything, then the bad thing will occur to you. Another thing with the hurricane is that people who got their houses destroyed and did not have savings, did not have any money, did not have any insurance, and their house, everything was destroyed, it's very easy to say, hey, I had everything destroyed. I'm a victim. However, they probably also, I'm just saying, they probably had a bunch of time, hundreds, if not thousands of hours or tens of thousands of hours sitting down on leisure time, right? Watching the Netflix, watching the Hulu, watching all these TV shows, a lot of time, a lot of video games, a lot of sitting around doing nothing. And you sit there for a long time, not preparing and knowing that an emergency is going to happen. These things are not surprises. We know these things will occur. So if you know that, then you prepare for it. And that's why people who, they work a lot, they do a lot of things, have a great business. Okay, their house got destroyed, but then they go, fine, I have enough money to go replace the house, do this, blah, blah. Because they've been preparing for an emergency by getting an abundance of production, an abundance of things happening, so then they're prepared for it. So When I go, hey guys, build your other income, build something valuable that will protect you in a time of need. Because the time to prepare for emergency is right now, always. Because emergencies will come over and over and over. So that's what I'm doing. I mean, like, do I think that I'm so crazy and so amazing that like an emergency will never happen to me? No. And that's why I continue to make more stuff. I still, to this day, I still have a fear. I am still scared that something will come and destroy everything, right? Some humongous lawsuit will come and take this business, that business. Something will happen, some embezzlement, something. I don't know. It can happen. It totally can happen. There are histories full of people that get very rich or have a lot of success and then go down and crash. Knowing that that occurs, I'm not going to say, well, hey, I'm so good. I have enough in savings to last me, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. I understand that things can happen. And so that's why I'm hustling and I'm here and I'm doing this and blah and more. And it's like, there's not a time when you can just coast and do nothing forever because emergencies are going to happen. You need to expect emergencies. It's gonna happen, right? Something can happen to a family member of yours, a child of yours, a cousin, a brother, a mom, a parent, something. I mean, I know someone who their mom went through some issues and it was like, they had like a $700,000 bill from the hospital. Like, wow. Okay, you want to do this amazing cutting edge treatment? Okay, that's 150 grand. You go, okay. Can you put up with things like that? And don't say, I mean, anybody can. I truly believe that if anybody's listening to this and they went out of their way to come and listen to a person like me to say, hey, how do I become more successful financially? How do I take care of more things? How do I start an e-commerce company? How do I make a brand? How do I promote? How do I market? Anybody who's thinking about these things and it's in your mind and you're trying to think about it, you are not an average person. So you can be a extraordinary person, well above average, and achieve something phenomenal. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening. If you have that potential, then you can achieve that potential, and no one can tell you otherwise and it fills your mind of taking over. And what I've noticed, I've tried to okay, so I sell Amazon, right? So you could sign up for my course on Amazon, aaroncordovez.com/course. Okay, you can sign up for my course. I'm teaching. I'm spending every Wednesday. I'm building out a material. You can start from nothing and build a brand in a few months. Okay, and when I promote this, I say, hey, look, you can work, an hour a day, 1 hour a day, and build it. Why do I say that? Not because I want you to work an hour a day, but because if you start on an hour a day, and at some point you get your first couple sales, you get your first win, you get your first excitement, and then there's a moment when everything clicks and you become this obsessive, fanatical, excited human being, a spiritual monster, a superhuman that can just, if you've seen someone go into this phase where it's an all-consuming obsession, it's a thought that takes over your mind, and you want to know everything about it and you get into it. When you get into a thing like that on sales, on selling, on Amazon, on brands, then you see all the hidden clues, the brilliant little pieces that you can do. Oh, I can make this. Oh, this little globe right here. Okay, I can make it this. Or blah, what if it shines? It does this. And this creative genius comes out. And when you hit that moment, that's when you make a big brand. That's when you make success. But to get there, I'm not going to tell somebody, okay, spend 10 hours a day involved and immersed in Amazon, you will be successful. Because some people go, oh no, I don't have that time. I can't do it, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Yet they'll spend all their money on lottery tickets. But if you go an hour a day, this, and it's like, okay, I could do that. But you can't stay there forever. It builds into an avalanche where you start, you go, oh my gosh, I made this, I made a couple sales, I made this. Wow, it's looking good. And then you get into the place where you really make big businesses and big success, which is when you get obsessed, when you go for the dream, you go for something phenomenal, you go for changing the entire face of, for me, funny enough, my first dream on the Amazon part was actually, I want anybody who comes to Amazon to have a way better experience when they squeeze lemons in the kitchen. I know it's so funny, okay, but I had this lemon squeezer and I go, I'm gonna, before I even picked the one that I was gonna sell, I said, I will change the entire experience of every person who shops on Amazon because they're getting this one that is crap. It doesn't squeeze a lot of juice, and I hated it. Oh my God, the OXO has a lemon squeezer. It is so bad. OXO is a phenomenal company. It's owned by a company called Helen of Troy. I believe it's publicly traded. Like, they're a phenomenal company. They have a lot of great designs. They're very cool. Their lemon squeezer is so disgustingly, terribly bad. And so when I got it, I'm like, this is so bad. And I said, I need to prevent anybody from ever buying this thing, and they can buy mine because mine is so much better. Or it will be so much better. And so that was a dream. I'm like, imagine everyone's experience. Like, people come to Amazon, it's going to be different. And now we sell, I don't know, several hundred lemon squeezers a day. We have the top seller, number 1 and number 2, or depending on the week and the month, it's like number 1, number 3, number 1, number 4. But we have a few of the top spots. But I was like, I'm going to make the best one. And I made checklists. And like, that's where the magic happens. When you grab this idea and you go all into it, that's when things occur. When you're like, okay, I'm going to work half an hour a day. I'm going to work 20 minutes a day. I'm going to work in the... That's just the entry phase. That's not when you get huge, when it like really, really takes off. It doesn't. It gives you a spark. And that spark, when it ignites you getting excited about it, and you allow yourself to be excited about a lemon squeezer, okay? Because people made fun of me, okay? Probably still making fun of me, okay? Like, what the hell? Why does this guy care so much? Like, no, because it's exciting. Because it's like, lemons are healthy. They're good. It's like fighting fast food, fighting obesity, getting people healthy. It has so much good things, and it's like, I want them to have a good experience. You're helping mothers, fathers, families, bachelors, all these people to have like healthy lemon water in the morning. It's like, I just think it was so beautiful and so nice. And so I'm gonna make the best one. And then at that point, when it's like, I can't go to sleep because I need to talk to these guys in China, I need to make the best one, I need to find it. That's where this thing works. So if you've been following me, just realize, get into it. First, you start with the discipline. I'm going to work for sure an hour a day. And that's how I started. I'm going to put an hour a day, always, this time to this time. And you keep that. You start with the discipline. You make sure you do it. And then when you start seeing the results of what you've been doing, then you trigger and you can flip into this like obsessive production, this obsession to become great, to do something phenomenal, to make a difference in the world, which we've all had. Everybody's had that sometime in their life when they were a kid. You might have squashed it out. Your teacher told you you can't do it. Your mom told you couldn't do it. Who knows? Somebody told you it couldn't be done. You believed it, and you've given that away. But at some point, we've all had like, I want to change the world. So guess what? You can do it. And when you see that a little small part of it happening, and you jump into it, that's when these big brands happen. That's when success happens. That's when businesses come alive, because you know you can do something. And when you realize it, you'll do great. So anyway, this all comes from the fact, same with the hurricane. Hurricanes bring that out in people. You see something happening, boom, I'm going to go save that person. And people just go all out, and they'll go and take somebody out of a scenario they're like going to die, because you see it, and you go, and you these emergencies bring you into this place where you do that. But guess what? When it wasn't an emergency, if you went out and taught people how to have a better business, this, whatever, you could have saved their life. You just wouldn't see it. The hurricane makes it obvious. This person wasn't prepared. They needed help. But they needed help too before the hurricane to get their life better prepared as well. So it's like emergencies bring these things out. But if you predict emergency is going to happen, I need to get things straightened up today to be prepared for emergencies. So not just help myself, but help those other people who the emergency is going to affect. Anyway, guys, this is my new little studio right now. We're still getting it set up. We have a new office right here. We just opened it. Actually, tomorrow's training. Well, but when this goes out, it won't be tomorrow. But like Wednesday night's trainings will be in this office now. It's a beautiful space. Great. I mean, it is an awesome space. It used to be a freaking funeral home, okay? I think, believe right here in this room, right here, was a freaking embalming station, okay? I don't know, I can just talk about it, but this right here, those little tubes coming out of here where they put fluid on the dead bodies to preserve them. I had a minister come in here and, put some holy vibes into this area and get these guys to leave, because this there was a funeral home. But now if you look at it, it is a spectacular place. And I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy with it. The staff love it. And we're going to do big things here. I'm excited about it. Anyway, so this little studio is now the recording center. We're still getting it all set up, but really, I did this little impromptu thing because we're not fully set up. I don't have a guest right now. I don't have even a computer set up, but let me know what you want to hear about. How can I help you prepare for the next emergency? Let me know if there's anything that you've had a failure, anything that you really wanted to do and someday you gave up on it. If you can find that and realize that you could make it happen, what would that be? What would your dreams be? What would be the thing you could do if you could do anything? If money wasn't an object, what would you be doing? What is that impactful dream? Because really, people can become rich doing anything if they're making a big enough impact on it, right? If you're making a big enough impact on people's lives, it can also serve you personally. So what is that thing that you kind of never let yourself do? If you find it, I mean, I don't know, it's not like it's supposed to be about brands, but like, dude, almost anything can be products. Almost every business in the world can have products. Any endeavor, any charity, anything can do better with a brand of products. So I'm here to help you guys do that. All right. Till next time, guys. Peace.